Welcome to NTV Sports Central with your host, Randy Silver. We have a jam-packed episode for you today. What's the topics? Let's get right into it. 1. New Huskers football play-by-play voice. Have you heard of him before? You may recognize the voice. We'll dive it into. And NTV News has a specific exclusive interview with the man. We'll share it. The main story of the day, Huskers men's basketball deep dive. I was at the press conference yesterday with two players and Coach Hoiberg. It was eye-opening, them talking about the offseason, NIL, the players here, injuries, last season, coming to this season, and so much more. I have a lot of clips that haven't been in my news story from last night, not on social media, we're going to talk about. Of course, as we always do, share this week's Roaming with Randy, where I got to go to the Men's College World Series for some work and some fun. So we have all that and more coming up on this episode of Roaming with Randy. Kyle Crooks is the name, folks. Why? Kyle Crooks. So let's dive into it. You may not see the face much on television, but you'll recognize the voice. Starting this season, Kyle Crooks is your play-by-play guy for Husker football moving forward. Let me take my camera away. He said, and I quote, "I'm incredibly excited for this opportunity. It's a dream come true to broadcast the great moments ahead for the Corn Huskers. I can't wait to get to Lincoln and meet Husker Nation. It'll be an honor to work alongside a talented team in Greg Sharp radio booth. Greg is a legend in the broadcast industry and beyond, and I'll work passionately to continue his elite standard of excellence both in the booth and in the community." Where is he coming from? University of Florida. Gators. Chomp, folks. At the Gators, he was a part of the radio network for football, men's basketball, baseball, softball, soccer. Knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. Done stuff with the SEC Network Plus digital platform. Also led behind-the-scenes efforts at the radio's network social media. He's been around the U.S., working smaller events, minor league baseball, things like that. He'll also anchor the Huskers Radio Network football broadcast with Damian Benning serving as analyst and Jessica Cootie handling the sideline duties. He'll be the voice of pre- and post-game shows as well. He's joining Kent Pavelka for men's basketball, John Baylor in volleyball, Matt Coatney in women's basketball, Ben McLaughlin and Nick Hanley on baseball, and Nate Rohr on softball. Crooks will join Cootie as the co-host of the Sports Nightly Show as well. So he's getting a lot of responsibility. And we break it all down on the NTV News YouTube channel. You go to it, exclusive interview with new voice of Huskers, Kyle Crooks. One of our producers, Christian, did a great job in the interview. So you can see it right here in our videos if you haven't been able to see it. Also, we'll get to it. The Roaming with Randy is there as well. So very cool to have a new voice. And personally, folks, I think he's going to do a great job and will lead the Huskers Nation moving forward. Now, another Huskers team, not football, basketball. As I mentioned, I was at the press conference yesterday with two players and Coach Hoiberg, all talking about the offseason. What do they need to know? The two storylines: shooting, depth. Shooting, they're really focusing on having 5 players on the floor who can be a threat. It was an issue last season, and teams could defend them easier than expected because of it. And when you have depth, to get 5 players on the floor who are good at shooting, that means your 6th man, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th need to come in and not be a liability. They need to be able to shoot as well. Well, why are they coming over with this? We look here at points per game last season. You see Nebraska, 13th out of 18th. 76 points a game. Closer to the bottom, they are to the top. That's not good. Opponents' points per game, Nebraska, where are they at? 8th. 72. So that means you have a 4-point margin basically every game. It's too close. Way too close. Again, you look at the difference. Maryland, they went far. Nice job, Maryland, this past year. Michigan State, look at that. Nebraska, 3.4. Minnesota, Washington, ouch. So one, you're looking at the total, but now you look at the percentage. So if you look at field goal percentage, folks, Nebraska, again, middle of the pack at 12. 45, closer to 44 at the bottom than the 49 at the top. You look at 3-point percentage, Nebraska, where are they at? 11th, 33%, closer to the bottom at 31 than the top at 38. Free throw percentage, Nebraska, a little bit better, 75%. Bottom is 66, top is 82. So you can see here that they really were focusing on getting more shooting. That is something that is key for this team. And again, how did they end up last season? Well, they didn't make the Big Ten tournament. They did not make the the NCAA tournament, 7-13 in the conference. And again, we know they lost the last 4 or 5 games. Overall, the record 21-14, but they did win the inaugural Crown tournament over UCF in Vegas. So season ended on the high. Now they're trying to move forward with that momentum. And that is where they want to make the tournament next year. They want to not just make it, they want to win a game in the tournament. Folks, Nebraska, look at this. I did not know this before I started doing my research. Nebraska has appeared in 8 NCAA tournaments, all ending in first-round exits. The only power conference school yet to win a game in the Big Dance. Ever. One more time. Nebraska is the only team ever who is in a power conference to not win an NCAA tournament game. That's not good, folks. Most recent time in the NCAA tournament, 8th seed, 2024, lost to Texas A&M. 2014, 1998, in the 90s. So they went a decade without making the tournament. They made the tournament, and nothing came out of it. Coach Hoiberg, of course, pedigree, player, NBA coach, college coach. He's got some work to do, and they feel like they're ready. And that's where we're going to break down some of these thoughts. There's the player again. So that's where we're going to start with.
Yeah, a lot of things we're doing with our guys. They're getting out in the community a bunch right now with our life skills program that Keith Zimmer does such a phenomenal job with. And Luca, our GM, is awesome and getting our guys out there and going to hospitals and visiting schools. They were at Matt Talbot Kitchen, about 10 days ago. And, we got a pool day with them coming up. We're going to go all see Jurassic Park together, which I might be more excited than any of them for that. But yeah, they're spending a lot of really quality time together off the court, which is important. If you're close off the court, I really do truly believe that translates to on-court chemistry. And, so far so good with that. And, again, the true test is how if that continues through tough times and adversity. But with this group, I'm confident that'll happen.
I love that. And again, this was off the court stuff. You have only 4 hours per week you're allowed to do with the team on the court during this offseason period. So it's team bonding with the portal, bringing in new players from different schools, high schoolers coming in, international players coming in, team bonding. As he said right there, I truly believe if you're friends, you're bonding off the court, you'll play better on the court. And what do we want our athletes to do? What do we want our school to do? Help out the community. Talked about community service, going to the food kitchen, being with kids, going to hospitals. I love all of it. Now, how's that going to translate to being on the court? That's what matters here.
Yeah, Robin, I've been really impressed with the overall demeanor of this group. They've been very talkative on the court. That's what you look for early in the process. They've been very diligent in their work. Big emphasis right now is with Kurt Joseph in the weight room, and making sure that their bodies are built up where they can handle the type of load that we're going to throw at them.
I love that. That's what the offseason is for. Bulk up, folks.
We did a lot of skill work the first week and a half. We have started going a little bit live at the end of practice just to get some things on film. and what we need to correct. We're putting an edit for these guys every day on their computers that they can watch, and they've been really good about that as well. So, it's been a fun group to be around to this point. Obviously, we have not hit any adversity yet. There's been great enthusiasm with them, and the thing that I think we've really addressed with this team is our shooting. When we played live, our guys aren't hesitating. They're making the extra play. They're playing very unselfishly, and I've been really impressed with that aspect. I think it's going to be a team that's really fun to coach as we continue along.
Boom. Big time. And we'll get to Rienk in a second. But shooting, we just showed the stats, folks. The shooting wasn't there. Mediocre team, mid-level team. And it's been emphasis, and it sounds like, yes, you're doing shooting in a open gym, summer, when you have the pressure of an opposing crowd on you, it's different, but you build the skill set to get there. Now, one person who can really help us is Rienk. He's been out all last year with the knee surgery. He was big on this transfer from Bradley his first year. 6'10", can shoot inside, outside. Lethal. How's he doing on his recovery?
He has been on the court doing individual workouts. He's up to 4 days a week now. And essentially, he's putting the same load on his body as all the other guys that are out there working on the court together. He will be reintegrated into practice next week with the team in all the non-contact drills. He's still not ready for full contact. He actually might be ready, but we are not ready for him to be in that setting yet. He's doing awesome, exactly where he's supposed to be, but we're still going to be very cautious and very careful with him. Only other thing we're dealing with right now, Jamarques tweaked his ankle a little bit at the end of practice yesterday, but it's nothing serious.
I love that. There's zero reason to push him early. Let him recover. Knee surgery. Personally, myself, folks, I tore my ACL playing college lacrosse. ACL and PCL. It was the first game of my freshman year in the tournament in Vegas. What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. And I was out the rest of the year. D1 program here. All the resources to recover and do what you need. I was playing at a club school, basically, in Santa Cruz, California, UC Santa Cruz. We didn't have that. I did all the training on my own, all the rehab on my own, put the work in, came back my sophomore year, played every game, was MVP of the championship game, and retired on top. We won that game. Let's go. So, do not push. You have the best in resources here at the Cornhuskers, at the Nebraska school. So, sit there and be safe with it. You have 4 months until the first game in early mid-October against BYU. Let him get back to it. Mentally, it's a different type of game going from contact to non-contact. And then having to go back to contact after the surgery, it's tough. Physically, obviously, getting used to it, the bumps and bruises, the soreness that comes with it. But mentally, knowing that you can take a bump and your knee won't get hurt again. That takes a while to get over, and you have to integrate that slowly. But I love that they're putting his future first. Now, someone he did mention is Jamarques, coming back. Was with the Huskers, then left the Huskers to go to Rhode Island, enter the transfer portal again, is back with Nebraska. The coach talked about, hey, it's a sign that you don't burn bridges. You never know when the past may become your present, may become your future. He spoke about being back with the team and what he likes seeing so far.
Like I said, we all can shoot. I think by far, personally, I think this might be the best shooting team that I might be a part of. Like I said, it's great. And, playing PG is something I want to work on for me. So I think it'll be fun, just trying to create for other guys. It's going to be fun, yeah.
I love that. Again, talking about shooting is key. He recognizes that. Also playing point guard, a new role for him. If we look at how he did, again, at Big Ten, at Nebraska, 5 points, 7 points. Rhode Island, A10 school, not as high-level competition consistently, 10 points. Now he'll be coming back and playing point guard. In this type of system, he increases 3 from 35 to 39. Give him the 40. That would be big. Free throws, 87%. Give him the 90. Field goal, 41. Give him the 45. In this offense, being able to play point guard is key, especially when they want to go with 5 people being able to shoot. You have to be able to distribute the ball. Connor, Speaking about him now in this system for his second year, how's his game changing and developing?
Just be able to take a new the leadership role in everything I do. Whether it's just helping guys out with plays, with defense. Now I should have this defense, locked in my brain, and I have no excuses anymore. And to really just take everything to the next level, to just carry this program and represent it the right way. But in terms of basketball, the defensive side is definitely something that I knew I needed to get better at, and I've always needed to get better at. And so my body isn't something I've really been trying to take account for this summer. And Kurt's been on my tail about it, and it's been really good. And being able to do more than just shoot it too. Whether it doesn't have to necessarily be scoring, but reading the right way on the court and open more guys up, especially with how many guys that we got that can shoot it and can score it. I don't need to score, for us to be good.
I love a lot of what he said right there, especially we have a lot of guys who can shoot. I don't need to be a scorer to be able to do what we need to do. Facilitate. 10 points last season. So is he saying maybe give up 8? Again, Jamarques helping out, other players helping out, shooting 37% from 3. Get him to 40. That would be big time. 3 games started last year. Expect more. He also talked about playing with the Armenian national team in LA, playing FIBA basketball, playing with 30-year-old grown men. Helped him understand some tricks of the trade. What I loved him saying, hands. How do you grab someone's jersey without the ref seeing? How do you use your hands for deception? How do you use back cuts for deception? How do you play smarter, not harder? And he says he's coming back to teach the teammates that, which is good, and use those tricks for himself. You see leadership there, and we see with Team USA, when players go play FIBA for the first time, they come back. Usually they're better and they have a type of renaissance type of season because they're going, learning from the best, playing with the best. And that takes you to someone who's trying to get to the best league in the NBA, Brice Williams. We know how well he did last year. Coach Hoiberg on how his draft preparation has gone.
Yeah, obviously we're going to miss Brice a ton for everything that he did. A 21-point scorer in league play, leading scorer in the conference, and a guy that made a lot of plays down the stretch and was very clutch for us. So we'll miss Brice in a big way, but I was just texting with him a couple minutes ago, and as I told him, I said, listen, whatever happens in the next couple days, you put yourself in a great position for your future and for your career based on what you've done throughout the process. Not only what he did last year as a player, what he's done to grow as a player and develop as a player, but also what he's done in the pre-draft process. Struggled in his first game at the Combine, but led the game in scoring with a 24-point effort. And he's been really good. I've been in communication with all the teams that he's worked out for, and they've all said he's done an excellent job, not only on the court, but in his interview, and they talk about how quality of a kid he is, which, makes me happy. So, he's put himself in a great spot. Hope we hear his name. If we don't, he's still going to be in a great position. I'm confident that he's going to be, with a great team, with a great organization. And again, Brice deserves all the credit for putting himself in that position.
Coach said it good right there. Brice Williams, second in the Big Ten last year, 20.4 points per game, right behind Nick Martinelli of Northwestern. At this recording, this is Thursday afternoon, June 26th. Brice was not taken in the first round. He's projected mid-60s. There's 60 draft picks, 31st round, 32nd round. It will be close. If he's not drafted, I have a great feeling he'll be signed by a G League team. Go get some reps at Summer League and see what he can do. Or go play ball over in Europe. Because look at that. He gives you 47% shooting, 37% from 3, plus 4 rebounds a game on 20 points per game. A team will pick him up. That's worth it. That is completely worth it. And that takes you to the second aspect of Coach Hoiberg getting players ready for the NBA. Nebraska is not getting people like Kentucky, getting people like Duke, UConn, high-level talent who are lottery picks walking into college, developing them here at Nebraska or Iowa State.
Well, listen, one thing that I am proud of, looking back over our track record at two two programs with Iowa State and Nebraska. Hopefully Brice will be the 13th player that plays in the NBA. I think that speaks for itself on development. We haven't had the McDonald's All-Americans or the 5-star recruits that walk through the door as pros. The 13 guys, when you look at their names, those guys have all developed. And that's one thing that I think is important when you look at this is, this isn't Kansas and Kentucky where those guys walk through the door as lottery picks. The development has been a big part of the success and the reason why a lot of our players have had opportunity, to play at the highest level. And guys that haven't played there have had very lucrative careers overseas. And you have to have a good staff in place that buys into that. It's one of the mission and one of the core values of our program is the development part of it. And, first of all, you get players that are willing to be in the gym and that are coachable. And, if they come in and buy in, they're going to put themselves hopefully in a position. And then the connections. I think that's another thing that's important is, the connections, the style of play, the NBA system, that helps at least our guys get their foot in the door, and then it's up to them to take advantage of it. And a lot of our guys have.
Love that. You want to see players develop from freshman year to sophomore year to junior year to senior year. Develop. And if you can get them to their dream of playing pro, whether it's internationally or making it at the #1 league in the world, the NBA, that's good. Hoiberg, 13 players drafted. Again, not playing at schools traditionally known as powerhouse basketball. Iowa State, maybe a little bit more than Nebraska in terms of what they've done in recency bias. But getting people to achieve their dreams. As a former sales manager, I love seeing people promoted from my team to the next level up. It means you did their job, they're achieving their goals and moving farther. Now, someone who's trying to achieve his goal as a potential coach is Charlie, Coach Hoiberg's son. It's been a story a little bit about him joining the coaching staff. What are the thoughts so far of how it's going?
Yeah, it's they haven't gotten in a fight yet, so that's good. It's coming. But it's great to have Charlie here. He's, as I told him, as a coach's kid, you got to be the first one here. You got to be the last one to leave. And he's been very diligent in his work to this point. He's really trying to learn. He's watching both the offensive and defensive playbooks every day. And he's going to be a very valuable asset to our team. And, the workouts, the rules don't apply to the GAs the same way that it does to the coaching staff. So they can be out there and rebound for the guys. And they're here all day. They're really the unsung heroes, I think, of your program, them and the managers, because of the amount of time that they spend in the office and on the floor. And having Charlie around, it's great for me. It's probably better for my wife, to be honest with you. But it's pretty cool to have him part of the program.
Look, I know there have been some comments about nepotism with hiring your own son. Sometimes that's life. If he's earned it, he's earned it. Sounds like he's in early. He's out late. The beauty of him being a coach's son, he maybe has a unique eye that other people don't have. He's learning and he's putting the work in. He gets to be there early with the players, late with the players, help rebound so they can get their work in. Again, these restrictions in the offseason are tough, only 4 hours per week with the coaches. So having GAs to be able to be there, and if you learn something, great. Now, we've seen in the NBA, a lot of coaches' sons, college basketball, Hurley, look for that example. UConn, his brother, I think, is at ASU now, doing a great job there. So maybe he gets an opportunity others don't get, but let him put the work in and earn it. And people who have put the work in are college athletes who are earning money via NIL. Since we last spoke to Coach, the House versus NCAA ruling came out, and I wanted to know what are his thoughts. How's the basketball program prepared for this? Well, of all the questions asked in the press conference, it went about a half hour. I'm the only person to get, that's a great question. As a young up-and-coming sports reporter, this means the world to me. My goal is to ask fair, honest, transparent, and sometimes tough questions. That's my job and my duty to be able to get you the answers that you deserve to know. And for a coach who's been in the NBA as a head coach, college basketball as a head coach, player in NCAA and NBA, it means a lot for someone to recognize that and say, good question. Now, let's hear his thoughts.
That's a great question. And I thought it would have been asked a lot earlier. Listen, I'll say this. There's a lot of unanswered questions as this thing will progress. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad the case was finally settled and now we can move on with our lives. At least for the rules that we've heard. We had our league meetings in LA. We talked to our commissioner a lot about how this thing was going to take place. Talked to Troy Dannon in leadership of our athletic program about what to expect. And, listen, from everything we understand, revenue sharing is going to be the main source for these guys now. The true NIL deals are going to have to go through the clearinghouse that's run by a very reputable company with Deloitte. And, we'll see how that all plays out on what a fair market value is for somebody to be approved an NIL deal. But until we see, a deal that's rejected, which I don't think that's happened yet, what exactly the parameters are within an NIL deal getting approved. So, still a lot of things I think to play out in this regard, but I am happy at least that, the way we understand it right now, there's going to be some guardrails in place. And now it's about, playing within the rules and, hopefully doing the best job you can with pretty much what I kind of the way we look at is a set salary cap for your roster, whatever the decision is by Troy, for what we'll have to operate under. So, we're in constant communication on it, and we're going to do the best job we can in this new landscape.
Troy Dannon, key word here. Athletic director, Nebraska. He holds the cards. How much money is being divided up to football, basketball, men's and women's basketball, softball, baseball, track and field, swimming, men and women, golf, wrestling. Keep going down the list. Money makers for the school. Football, cash cow. You think they're going to get the most. Again, it's $20.5 million per school they can pass out. Basketball is a pretty big revenue. Women's basketball, not as big, but they do. Softball, look what they did this year. Made it to the basically super regionals. Not basically, they did make it to super regionals. Baseball made it to NCAA tournament. How are you going to break it up for all these different players? And also, he talked about how it's going to be monitored by Deloitte in their brokering house. So this will be a developing story on this podcast, and on the news will continue to show. Now let's talk about it from the player's perspective.
Yeah, not to this point. No, most of them have representation. The ones that don't, certainly will have conversations when the time is right. They are getting educated on that. We have people within our athletic department that do help them, with the education process and, the education piece.
I love that. I love that the school is helping educate them. Make sure these athletes don't go bankrupt with this money. You hear pro athletes getting $50 million contracts over their career, bankrupt. Now you're giving it to 19 to 21-year-olds who don't know what to do with the money potentially. Make sure they know what to do. They're safe, legal with it.
As we go into this new era of college athletics. As far as going forward talks, as far as future, no. I mean, our roster's set this year. Everybody has, what they're going to get, and then, we'll worry about the future when it comes.
Our roster is set. We will worry about the future when it comes, but they will be prepared for what happens when the future comes. And what they're trying to be prepared for right now is a 25-26 season. How do you do that? The offseason, you have a hard non-conference schedule to get ready for Big Ten basketball.
Yeah, I'm excited about our non-conference schedule. We're gonna have obviously some great tests in that. Creighton at home this year. Another team that's going to be at the top of the Big East standings again. Playing Oklahoma up at the Pentagon will be an awesome early test for our team, and then the two games that we'll play in Kansas City. With three really high quality, high major opponents, and then some.
And it was announced. One of them will be New Mexico for sure. They're playing New Mexico, the Lobos.
Quality, bye games that we'll play at home as well. That'll prepare us for the grind of the 20-game Big Ten schedule. So, yeah, I think we did a good job with our schedule and excited to see where we are.
Oklahoma on the road, Creighton, in-state rival at home. That will be a wild game. It will be loud. Cannot wait to be there for that one. And then, of course, he talked about the Kansas City tournament. Big Ten play, will be tough. So I like what I heard from basketball. A lot of moving parts there. Relatively healthy. Getting Rienk back. Jamarques sprained ankle. He wasn't a walking boot, but he looked fine. Said he was fine. And good momentum. Season did not end the way you hoped in terms of Big Ten tournament, making it, NCAA tournament, making it, but then winning the inaugural crown, and now trying to get better offseason, shooting-wise, depth, agility. Sounds like check. We'll keep you updated. They said there'll be a second press conference probably later in July, mid-July, late July. And of course, we'll break it down for you here on the NTV Sports Podcast. And that takes us to our final segment, Roaming with Randy. Had a chance to go to the Men's College World Series, LSU champions. I was there before then. I did my sports report on the field. Such a unique experience as somebody who was in tech sales for 10 years, quit his job, moved across the country for sports reporting school, and now is living his dream as a sports reporter. Surreal. I've watched the Men's College World Series for years on ESPN, and now I get to be there reporting, talking to players, coaches. It was cool. So I got an opportunity to show my experience, what it was like to be there as a reporter and then have fun at the fan zone, talk to fans about being at the College World Series, what it's like for them, older, younger, all ages, been there for 50 years straight, been there for 1 year. We'll show you the clip, and of course, in the bio of this, you can go check out the full-length video with all the interviews and more. You don't want to miss it. Welcome to Roaming with Randy. We're at the Men's College World Series in Omaha. We're on the Ferris wheel with the stadium in the background, Charles Schwab, Fan Fest, food, interviews, baseball. Let's show you all the fun.
This is a special episode doing day in the life as well. Started with a smoothie at 8 a.m. Edited some videos before I left. Need a wagon for all my TV equipment. Put in the car. Here we go. Our drive from Lincoln, Nebraska up to Omaha in beautiful Charles Schwab Field built just for the Men's College World Series. We go in that media entrance. We're in the tunnels. Get to see all the artwork on the walls right where the players' locker room is next to the dugouts. And here we go walking onto the field. And once we're on the field, 1, you get this view, and 2, I get to live a dream anchoring the sports. It's College World Series today. It's a great day for baseball. We have an elimination game. Once we're done anchoring, we check out the trophy, which is going to LSU or Coastal Carolina. When this video was created, they were playing in the championship. And then I got to go to Fan Fest outside, see the tailgating, see all the activities. So much fun. It's free. What you can do, go eat, do some lacrosse, taking it back to my college days, shave ice, cornhole, and then more stand-ups. Got to make it engaging for the package for the fans. Look at me on the Ferris wheel. Let's go. Creative mind. And once that's all done, folks, what do I have to do? Edit it all for 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. news so I don't actually watch the game that was going on. There's so much more I can't show in just a short. Interviews with fans, workers, inside the stadium more, and Fan Fest. Link in bio, full YouTube video. You don't want to miss it. That is this week's Roaming with Randy from Charles Schwab Field, the site of the Men's College World Series. Folks, if you've never been before, you have to come. It feels like a state fair. The energy is electric. Please subscribe to Randy Silver TV or NTV News for more videos. Where should I go in the state of Nebraska? What should I try? What do I need to see? I need your input. Please DM me and let me know. And for more videos, you have to subscribe to follow. Roaming with Randy, beautiful view, Ferris wheel. We'll see you on the next episode. Again, go check out the full video on the YouTube channel. It's linked below. You don't want to miss it. And that's this week's NTV Sports Podcast with Randy Silver. Please give me your comments, give me your thoughts, everything in between. We want this to be interactive. Those voicemails, we need them to come in to do it. We need those voicemails to come in to do it. If there's a topic around Huskers or sports in general you want me to cover, please let me know. We'll see you on the next episode. NTV Sports out.